Whoa, what year is this? Oh, I know what to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Undisputed Combo Podcast! With me, Shadowhaunt Joker, and the Ellsworth Fuerte. And, well, yeah. Hey, we know Unfound Prodigy and that dude Colby would be here if they could. We're just saying, hey guys, as soon as you can, please come back. New year, new us.
That's right, man. Welcome back. It's always great to see you. Last year we tried this we got 2-3 episodes in, and then unfortunately it just didn't happen. There was too much going on in personal life, that kind of thing. I was still coaching. Family life really is what took up most of the time, but I'm finding ways to manage my time better, and now we hope to bring you more of these exciting episodes. Joker, what is new, my friend?
Well, first and foremost, we just had a Alt Cup in, so the season for the 2024-2025 finally is done. And I gotta say, it was a roller coaster at the end.
It sounds like it. I know you share quite a bit on Instagram and in the chat of what's going on, and my head just spins sometimes, and of course the wheels get turning, and I'm thinking, what? Like I don't know how you do it. I really don't. And I'm not talking in terms of the skill and the competing part. I'm talking about dealing with some of the what looks to me like incompetence. We can get into that more later, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, first and foremost, I will say this. I only had to drop out because my phone kept dying. But other than that, I had some pretty tough matches that I was coming out on top in. And don't worry, the deck profile will be coming soon. Yeah. And there's a card in here that everybody said would not help, 100% garbage card. Get this. The highest dollar card in the game right now, this was the card that got trounced by a card that was in this deck. Ooh. It puts the fear to play that other card in. So I'm going to keep running it.
What's the card you just showed us?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
This is Medieval Gallantmon Alt Art. Currently sitting at $100 easy.
Ooh. Okay.
And I pulled 3 of them.
If you haven't been watching, this guy is just on a roll right now with pulling these cards in the opening. So if you want to see those openings, you can definitely head to the YouTube channel, the Undisputed Combo Podcast. Check out Joker's opening, this box battle, with Commodore, the awesome Commodore, and those are always fun to watch. I love seeing the pulls from both of you guys and just a little friendly competition that goes on.
Yeah, last year was his year. I think this year will be mine.
Well, that's a heck of a way to start out the year the way you did. So I think you have a nice little lead on him. It's going to be hard for him to catch up, but we'll see. That's the fun part, right? We move on, new boxes, new sets. Let's go.
Yep.
So what's going on in the tournament scene right now? Tell us more about this mystery card that everybody thinks is bad.
Well, the only hint I can give with this card, yes, it's in the Gallantmon deck that I'm running. Mm-hmm. But let's just say it's been my savior.
I like that. See, I always like that because I know when I used to make deck profiles in Yu-Gi-Oh! And same with that dude Colby, we would try to input a little bit of originality and kind of stay away from, why don't you put 3 of this? Why don't you put 3 of that? Well, because I like my deck the way it is. And for me personally, it always worked. Now, I wasn't big in the tournament scene, but I like to kind of go against the grain a little bit, right? Throw in a little tech, if you will, a little originality for these decks, almost like a signature card, right? Is that kind of what you're considering that card?
Oh, it's definitely my signature card. Let's just say one person that I played against, as soon as I played that card, he had to look up online its secondary effect. And when he saw what its secondary effect was, he goes, you got it. I was going to play Medieval Gallantmon, but I saw what that card does, and I'm not going to deal with that. I'm like, you sure? I'm sure.
Nice.
I was like, okay.
That was me personally as a duelist back when I used to compete in tournaments. And granted, in Yu-Gi-Oh there wasn't a whole lot of variety, but I would throw in a little sneaky card here and there, and people, can I read that? Is it what? I always like doing that. I always like stumping them a little bit, and I don't do a lot of actual card game playing. I do play the I can't even think of it right now. The one online, Master Duel.
Yep.
Did I say it right? My brain's all over the place. I play that with a really old fashioned deck, and it typically wins. There's quite often the times where I win. So, but yeah, man, I love it. Signature card and all. When are we gonna have to wait for the deck profile to see what this mystery card is?
You know what? I'm actually going to show you the card here. I'm not going to say what it does, but I'll just show you what it is.
Okay.
And now keep in mind, everybody's so used to people using Crimson Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
I use Crimson Savior.
Crimson Savior. All right. Well, now you all watching and listening, go look it up. And then you can send Joker a message and say, "What's wrong with you? That's such a trash card. I challenge you to a duel, Digimon duel," and then he's going to whoop you with it. Let's do this. Let's get this going.
Well, last time I checked, I beat two of the highest profile format decks that we got right now
Nice.
with that just by itself. And people were like, "What did you use?" And afterwards, when they saw my deck profile, like just the picture of what it was, they saw the little combos I had. They saw how many times I can swing and do all this massive damage. They said, in one turn, you can do security +7 if you set it up right.
So you're telling me there's strategy going on here, not just random spamming cards and hand traps and all that.
Everything flows easy. If you play it just right,
Yeah.
once you get that board set up, it's straight up, I hit, things die. You can't stop it.
I like it.
Someone tried to stop the combo. They really did. Until they realized one tiny problem. I have a monster that's unaffected, period.
So this combo you speak of, would you consider it an undisputed combo?
After playing against other people in a mirror match, they agree that it is an undisputed combo.
I love it. You see the name, all that leading to this point right here, this moment in time. No, we're just kidding. That's just a little something we had to throw in there, but I love it. I love it. I love the combo. Are you in your deck profile that you're going to be working on? Are you going to be showing examples on how to like little strategies, or are you gonna make a separate video on key plays for the deck?
I'm going to do all of it in one video. It'll have little segments where I cut in. I'll even show you a couple of things I called the Joker's wild plays. There's a particular play that I did that made a person second guess everything that they had going on, which I'll show the top 3 cards that you can use as a Joker's wild play, and the top 3 cards not to do a Joker's wild play on. So it'll all be there.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. So we'll, if you're watching, if you're listening, keep an eye out on the channel. Give us a follow. Follow them on Instagram as well. That way you can kind of track the progress if you want to see an awesome deck profile that's doing some damage. Going back to 2024, how did you finish overall?
Well, the highest I made it to was 84.
Nice.
But at a certain point, I will admit, I reached that one point where I was like, I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me giving up per se on just because I felt lazy.
Yeah.
My passion was dying because, all card games have that one little moment where it's like, this is the only deck that's going to be played.
Yeah.
You might as well just sit it out.
Yeah.
But after like a certain list got hit, I started developing my passion again, started getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a couple of personal issues that happened. And I will say RIP to Bubba when I found out that he passed.
Oh.
That was a turning point for me too. So I wanted to finish off this season with at least a good little segue. So
yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. And then building momentum right into 2025. Right now, you have a lot of things on deck that you're going to hit. What's next for you right now?
Well, right now it's the building phase, recovery phase, because next season starts in April. So during this time, I look at different strategies I got with certain decks that I want to run.
Mm.
Look at the new sets coming out, which is going to be massive. Like, I'm at the point now, El Toro,
Mm-hmm.
that dinosaur deck I wanted you to build, it
Yes.
just got more support.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like everybody's starting to rotate in and out, and it's just amazing. We finally have another healthy format going into the new season.
Healthy format. I like that, right? Because that's not something you get in every TCG. And I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna take shots at Yu-Gi-Oh, but in a way, I am gonna take little subtle shots because I have a lot of respect for the game still, and the people who still play it who are enduring in that game. Me personally, I tapped out a long time ago in terms of just buying cards and collecting them and all that. You know, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh goes, whatever I have now is what I'm going to keep. If I duel, it's going to be old school formats, speed duels, that kind of stuff. I have tons of sealed product that I'll probably get rid of at some point. A lot of bulk that I'm going to get rid of at some point. Just kind of filter out and kind of narrow it down to just a few very important special cards. And that'll be my collection until the day I'm gone and I pass it on and whatever, right? But when you say healthy format, I like that. That does that typically mean that is there a specific number that we shoot for in terms of competitive decks? Is it three? Is it four? More?
Well, for us, if it's just 4 decks, it's an okay format. If it's at least 6 to 8, we call it healthy.
Ooh.
We are now sitting at a precedence of 10 to 12 different decks that can go to distance. Some people will be like, well, this one's only a 2.5, this one's a 2, this is a 1.5, this is a 1. Any of them can spark up with the right card combo and take it.
Yeah.
Like, we just had Purple Hybrid win Nationals. I know someone's going to tell me that it was actually another deck that won Nationals. That is true. 7 Demon Lords, that deck, it's straightforward. It's one of those decks where it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Final,
Mm-hmm.
where if you just let it go, it goes. Then, of course, you got Imperial Dramon, you got the red-purple variant, the blue-green variant, and, of course, there's Gallantmon that just recently came back with a vengeance, and it's literally a 1-2 punch.
See, when you say 10 to 12 decks that can go the distance. That's unheard of. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people have left Yu-Gi-Oh to play Digimon and other games, right? I mean, I know that
Right.
Lorcana is one, right? I don't know if that's still going strong. And I apologize. I
Yeah.
don't pretend to know like I know more than I do. I really don't. That's why I'm asking because I don't know what's going on, what games are being played in card stores. I haven't stepped foot in a card store in I don't know how long. So what other games are being played right now?
Well, right now, the only games I know that are like dead,
Hmm.
Battle Saga, they just didn't make enough money. But these are the card games I'm seeing pop up, and everybody's like, "Hey, Joker, you want to open some packs of this?" And I tend to pull cards for them, and it's like worth money. There's Star Wars. There's One Piece. Yeah, surprisingly.
One Piece. Yeah.
Heck, somebody actually wants me to try like My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball. I'm not really too keen on it because I don't know what's in those.
Yeah.
And there's a Gundam set coming out, and
Really?
I think it's like Demon Slayer.
So are these they're actually individual games, like a Gundam game, a Demon Slayer game, or is it similar to Weiss Schwarz, where you have multiple animes with different decks, but it's still within that same game?
Nah, they all individual.
Ooh, okay, okay. That sounds cool. The Gundam one, maybe I'll have to make a little comeback in the Gundam scene.
It
Um,
just came out.
did it really? Well, maybe I'll have
Yeah.
to step foot into a card store. Hey, Showtime Cards, I'm gonna have to go hit it up. It's been a while.
Hey, so far it's a very good standard slow paced game. Sort of like original Duel Masters for
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Duelist Kingdom. It's got that feel to it. So
Hmm.
if you want to build in that variation, go for that. Demon Slayer is sort of like how people would play, I guess, sort of like One Piece. But a lot of these games that are like getting a fair shake between 2024 and now,
Mm-hmm.
they're starting off slow. Anyone can pick it up. Anyone can do. You can even teach the kids. Decks are really cheap, and boxes are somewhere between like your basic Yu-Gi-Oh box. Doesn't matter. So it's like one of those things where if you start now,
Mm-hmm.
you're fine. But even in a game like Digimon, you could buy a box of RB1 and then 2 boxes of any set that you want and just go with it. Buy a starter deck, depending on what color you want, pick your poison.
So pricing, right? That was one of the issues that you saw. Everybody just started raising the prices, right? Card stores, independent card stores, were increasing because they were saying there's a demand, right? They're playing that whole supply and demand deal and just taking it as an opportunity to take advantage of the buyer, right? But I mean, kudos to them, right? They're trying to make more money for their business. But at the same time, how much is too much? Are a lot of these other games, I mean, the popularity seems like it's kind of been there for One Piece. I know my friend Yuma on Instagram, he's really big into that, competes, tournaments, this and that. So are all these other games picking up steam like that?
Yes, they have their own grassroots and they'll slowly generate. And now I'm seeing that they have their own online tournaments, their online regionals.
Oh.
So if you can't play locally, you
Mm.
can play online like I do. Now, here's the one little caveat I will say about online play. Yes, you got to set up a camera and do all that stuff, but let's say you have to pay $30.
Mhm.
The prizes are worth it. Like Digimon prizing, they're worth it. I have a card now that for me entering in for a $30 tournament, a couple of the cards were up to like $60, and I only got the participation. So
Wow.
I've doubled my money.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. I've heard a lot of people complain about the Yu-Gi-Oh prizes. Seen it on Instagram, some of the accounts that I still follow. But overall, I think that's always been an issue, right? The pricing. How do you balance that? How do you make the player base happy? What's fair for the amount that they pay these tournament organizers? And online, I got a couple questions for you on the online part. The first one is cheating. How prevalent is that, and how easy or difficult is it to do in online play?
Well, I haven't really noticed any cheaters in the online format. I'm not saying that there aren't,
Hmm.
but there are ways you can do it, like stacking the cut, or you could have your screen freeze, stuff like that. Here's the thing: the judge can actually be called if you're constantly doing like that screen freeze, and they'll have you shuffle the deck while they watch. And if it's still freezing, you have to take a loss. There's also, like, let's say, misplacing cards in the deck. Like, let's say I have two of that Gallimon and two medieval Gallimons. If I all of a sudden sneak a third medieval Gallimon and an opponent calls out, hey, wait a minute, I thought you already played that, the judge can say, show me the deck that you have right now. I flip through my cards. They have my deck on screen. And if they say, hey, he had three of this, and all of a sudden I'm caught with three, they know that I have two, I'm automatically disqualified
Okay.
completely.
How quick and attentive are these judges? Because I know it's online, right? And you have a few hundred players, so to speak. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a little button you push to wait for a judge, or are they kind of
Yeah,
just?
you actually press at table in the judge sub thing. It'll
Hmm.
be like you go to the judge call, press at table, whatever, and the judges will immediately go there. There's normally 5 to 7 judges at a time and at least one hit judge.
Mm. Okay. Okay. You ever have to? What's the average wait time when you hit that button?
15 seconds.
Really?
They come.
Hey, let's hear it for the judges, right?
Yeah, they coming.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, at least I mean that me. I've never done an online tournament, and my first thought is how obviously you got to have your camera a certain way, but like you said, stacking the deck, right? I didn't even think of the freezing screen there, right? I mean, and who everybody's technologically smart and sound these days. There's always a way to do it. Always a way to do it. The one thing that I really want to ask about online tournaments, and you've expressed your concern about it in the past, is the overall. organization of them or lack thereof? I know you had a few issues last year. Did
Oh
it
yeah,
improve?
it's improved. There was a little fiasco during the summer going into the fall where some people didn't have like the proper timing, and it led to like 2 hours of nobody doing anything. Then, of
Oh
course,
wow.
there was the whole debacle of, hey, we put your tournament at the same time as the One Piece tournament. And I literally was about to play a content creator. He goes, hey, why you got cards over on this side? I'm like, why are you playing that card over there when it's supposed to be by the deck? He goes, are you a Digimon player? You're a One Piece player, aren't you? We both hit the judge button, and 3 judges showed up and was like, oh,
Oops.
the third judge was for a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Oh wow.
It's like, why do y'all's fields look different? We're like, why is there a Yu-Gi-Oh judge here?
How common is that for that to happen?
That is once in a blue moon. We haven't had that issue since.
Okay, okay. So always improving, right? Anytime you're doing something new or different like that, there's always going to be bumps in the road, so to speak. But it sounds like they've gotten better at that. Now, I know at one point there was something that was causing you to take an L for certain matches. Did that ever improve?
Yes, that actually improved.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. One, the stall tactics, they're cut out. Two, the constant having someone try to like hold off on plays, and stun you out, that's cut out too.
Okay.
There's been a lot of people trying to still do that. Not only have they been called out for it, they've actually faced a suspension.
Oh, good.
So I'm just gonna say it now. If you're sitting here and you're one of those slow players, and it's like, okay, it's been 15 minutes and you haven't done anything, judge, slow play.
Oh,
They will actually watch, and it's like, okay, you're still slow playing. No, wrap it up.
yeah, yeah. See, that would drive me nuts. That would drive me absolutely bonkers to have to deal with that. Somebody intentionally slow playing to obviously sway it in their favor, right? So if they, whatever the circumstances may be, end up with the win due to intentional slow play. What about the other scenario that was happening where you would register, pay, but then you would get dropped? Did that
Yeah,
all those things get fixed?
that was a big what on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
how
remember.
are you gonna put
I
me
was
in the tournament and then just drop me?
yeah.
That was a scenario that their computers were down.
Okay.
But I kept showing them, hey, I'm actually in your tournament. Look. They looked it up. It says that you didn't put the deck in. Yes, I did. It's right there. All this time, it was on their part. One of the other judges, the head judge, said, yeah, he's registered. Why isn't he showing up on your screen? And I had to drop not one, but 2 matches
Ooh.
until they finally realized, oh, we got the wrong tournament set up.
Mm.
That was 2 months ago. Here's the one that is now. Here you go. Play round 3. I was like, I'm ready to just drop. And I even told the person, look, you won. I'm done.
Yeah, I would have been taking shots, a few of those to try and clear my head and my temper. No, I give you all the credit in the world, and anybody else who decides they want to do these online tournaments, because it sounds like you've had gone through a lot, right? Post COVID,
Mm-hmm.
where this stuff really started to catch on, and now it seems like they've ironed out a lot of the kinks, and it's a good thing. It's really a good thing. You feel like it's at a really good place right now overall?
There's still a lot that can be done.
Hmm.
Like, we're still dealing with the process of getting everything set up with like 2 different apps,
Hmm.
which it's normal when you're trying to constantly update for a game that's getting bigger and more advanced. You
Yeah.
have to have these things done. This is why having those little breaks in time is worth it. Now, some of the things I will say that need to change, there are some tournaments that are like the one that was in Canada, where they had 3 months to get situated. I get that at a certain point they had like time restraints where they couldn't get everything done. and I think it's because it was more like a intercontinental, international.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that there was a divide. So it was their first tournament. We understand. Some people didn't understand; they were being a little pricky. But to the ones that actually understood, like I did, hey, this is their first big tournament like this. Cut them some slack. It's not like they're our main people that we're used to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Core TCG, by the way. So some people didn't realize that. People need to realize that if we're constantly bullying the promoters, we might scare them off from doing it again, and that decreases our chances of getting like a regionals or any other alt cups. So it's like, guys, can we just chill a little bit? It's not like we're fighting in the shadow realm or anything.
If only. If only. That would be kind of cool, right? I know there's a few people I'd like to banish to the Shadow Realm, but that's for a whole other reason. Speaking of Shadow Realm, I know the certain individuals that were once thriving in the community have gone silent for various reasons. Do you see a lot of those heads start to pop up every now and then? People that have kind of gone away for shady accusations.
Oh, I've seen two of them.
We
One
won't
in
call them
particular
out,
decided, I'm
but
not going to call them out, but I
yeah.
will say this. One of them jumped into Digimon, spent all that money to get a very powerful dominant deck,
Mhm.
lost to a toolbox type deck, has yet to play Digimon since. And the entire time I'm like, I could have told you that. The color you're playing against this kind of a format, this matchup, it's going to lose. You can't run, I'm going to say the deck colors. You can't run yellow red and try to do security control against a deck that sits here and goes, I can attack 9 times in a turn. Also, I can make it so that those security cards don't work. So this person was in for a rough time.
Yeah.
People, if something has jamming or it says security effects don't activate, you're not going to be winning that. Now, the second person, I'll just say there's not much I can really say on it. They made their bid, they're laying in it. I'm staying out of it. I just wish them the best of luck, but sometimes you just got to own up to what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know I do a lot of stuff, so it's like, hey, sometimes I do mess up. I have to own up for it.
Yeah.
But you can't just sweep it under the rug.
That is true, right? What do they call it? The chickens come home to roost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know one of the individuals that we're referring to. We're not going to call anybody out because we don't want to give them any bad. It's stuff that one of them I've dealt with in the past and used to be fairly close with, and discovered some things, and it was just unfortunate. And I've since cut ties with that individual, and that's all we're going to say about that. So, 2025, Joker. What are some of your goals right now?
Well, one of my nephews is trying to become a mini Joker. He's getting into Pokemon.
Okay.
And it caught me off guard because he's like, I want Pokemon cards, I want Digimon cards, and I'm giving him cards. All of a sudden, he says something that made me just go, I think I have ambition again. He goes, I want to be like you. I'm
Hey.
like, what do you mean? He pulls out a Pokemon card and plays it, and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm you.
That's awesome.
He
Inspiring
called me
to
off guard.
That is cool. Okay. Pokemon. What's going on in Pokemon? Like I'm on threads. I'm on Instagram and threads. That's kind of where I do. I scroll threads and kind of get info here. But I see people talking about Pokemon. I see like all this controversy going on with GameStop where people will pre-order stuff and then their pre-orders are canceled. They're telling the people that they didn't get enough, whatever it is. But the reality is a lot of these employees are buying them and or selling them to each other, different little stuff within it. And now I'm hearing that's happening at Best Buy and Walmart and everywhere else where they're selling it. What do you have any insight on what the hell's going on in Pokemon and why it's
Oh boy, I could have did a whole video on this one myself. Oh,
okay?
Toro, I'm gonna give you an example. You
Yes.
remember how McDonald's had the Pokemon cards and you did that skit?
Yes.
All right, now, what if I told you Pokemon and McDonald's had a 1 in 100 chance of getting a Pokemon card worth $500?
Ooh. Okay.
Would you take that gamble?
Me personally, no, but if I was a scalper collector, absolutely.
Okay, now here's the thing. Let's say, hypothetically, I work at a McDonald's and I know where they keep the Pokemon cards.
Mhm.
What if I pretend like that shipment never came? There's a lot of people doing this tactic. They'll sit there and be like, well, since I work here, before we stock up, let me get some of the ones I want before we put it out there. Because the latest set that I've seen of Pokemon has a particular card that is worth $1,600.
Okay.
Just outright, just 1,600. And I saw it and I'm like, so this is why everybody's buying this set. It's a 1 in 100 chance to pull this. So I'm like, okay. And a lot of these places are saying they didn't get the card just yet. They didn't get the packs yet. Just
Yeah.
shooting the breeze. But I've noticed something about GameStop that other places haven't done yet. GameStop now can grade cards.
GameStop is grading the cards.
Yes. You can actually look it up right now. There's a couple of GameStops nearby where I live.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up, I'm like, y'all grade cards now? Yes, we buy, sell, and trade cards too. Since when did y'all start grading cards?
How does that compare to the other traditional grade? I don't even know who grades cards anymore. To be honest, I never got into that. I think I
I I don't trust it.
yeah.
Hear me out. See, you could give them a card to grade. Now, let's say they just bought someone's card. It's like not even near mint. It's just damaged. You pull a near mint card wanting to trade it off, get it graded. They could actually just take the other one that's like messed up, have that graded, and then sell the near mint one.
How
To
did
me,
I
that's a
know?
dirty tactic, but it is common.
How
I've
did I
seen it
know
done before.
that's the road you were gonna go down to? As soon as you started saying, as soon as you said the early part of that, where you just explaining, I kind of had a feeling, but man, that's awful. And that's happening, right? Because I mean, I've read about that stuff, and I mean, if you read about it enough, people are very suspicious, right? They came in with one card, they got it back, and this isn't my card. My card it was mint. This one, it's not mint, right?
Exactly.
And if you're the person that owns that card, you better believe you're gonna have pictures and video, and you're gonna know exactly what it looks like when you get it back. And you're like, what the heck? Like, you guys ruined my card. Shady, shady. I did notice that they are dealing a lot in toys and trading card games now too. There was something else that they're doing. It's less and less video games, which is crazy. Like, Game Stop, but whatever. I know a lot of people are kind of down on them at the moment for it's basically just like a pawn shop for cards and games, essentially.
Yeah. My thing is, if they were just to like stop doing with the cards and the tablets and stuff and just focus back on games,
Yeah.
that'd be fine. Because they're entering a market where, yeah, they can make money, but they're not going to make money unless they're willing to break their money. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm going to give you these cards worth thousands of dollars. You only want to offer me a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand in store credit. Um, you have nothing I want to play at all. And plus, who wants to buy pre-owned Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon boosters? Meaning you already opened it.
That's what
You
they
know they do that.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't ask, right? That it should be assumed that little shady stuff like that, right? Some type of resealing
Yeah,
tactic or something. Oh,
it's a tactic that they do, and it's the only thing I can say about it is, have you lost your damn mind?
that reminds me of the dollar stores when they would sell those Yu-Gi-Oh bundles, and it was like 100 cards and
Yes.
one foil inside for 4.99, and you open it like what the.
I
I never
had
bought
a
those.
ultra rare of Razor from one of those. I'm like, this
Ooh.
thing's worth $5. Hang on.
Leave it to you, right? You're the one that would get your money back. I know a lot of people, what's considered a foil card, they would just get some of the most weirdest super rare cards. Very common, not worth much, and just a whole bunch of rotten commons that you couldn't use. But I mean, as a kid, right? A kid that's going to elementary school where they make up their own rules, that was probably great, right? I just got a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Let's play and let's just BS our way across the duel. But for actual collectors and people who play the game competitively, that stuff was useless product, and it makes me wonder, right? Was it something where, the stolen cards, right, where they go open cards and they take the expensive and leave the rest? Did they just get that stuff and create their own little cardboard back and seal it in the blister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun stuff. That's pretty rotten, GameStop. We're not making accusations. We're just kind of going off what we hear, and if that's the case, that it's pretty rotten what you're doing. But the thing about me is that I used to go into GameStop to get video games, right? And unfortunately, that is even kind of diminishing. The selection is awful. I'm hearing stuff about pre-orders with the video games too, where they're being canceled, probably for
Yeah.
similar shady reasons. And then if you don't pre-order, then you're not necessarily getting it. Like they don't overstock new copies of new releases. It's pre-orders, pre-orders, pre-orders.
Me, if I hear that I got to pre-order a game or else they're not going to have it, this is what I do. Oh, look, I'll go online, order it online. Hey, it's mailed to my doorstep.
Bam, bam.
It's like, I beat the line.
That's kind of what I did. The last game that I actually bought from GameStop, I don't know if you're able to see it right here. Silent Hill 2
Silent
Remake
Hill.
PS5. Yeah.
Yep.
And now it's funny because that release, and I went to the GameStop, and the guy's like, I have one more copy. That's it. And of course, he gave me the speech about, hey, you got lucky today. I really recommend you pre-order going forward. And I didn't like his tone, to be honest with you. So I haven't really gone back to buy anything. I did the Joker tactic, and I went online and I ordered this game right here, Dragon Warrior 3, and it's amazing. But it was delivered right to my doorstep, just like that. So people are gonna do what they have to do to get these games, right? If you're gonna provide bad service, like a couple of the GameStops that I've experienced, for the most part, it's been fairly nice and polite, but there have been a couple that and I don't put up with that crap, so I just walk out. Do the online thing, right? Ensure you get a copy of the game. Go online, get that game, play it, beat it. Don't trade it to GameStop. If you want to, dude. Don't listen to me. Joker, what else is going on in the Pokemon world?
All right. Other than that, there's the new Pokemon leagues that are coming out. Everybody's getting ready for that new set, well, new season, where they're doing Dragon Leagues for kids. And I'm going to say this, I've seen a lot of kids coming out of the woodwork playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the store champions at the one that I go to, he's 10. And he has been a reigning champion for at least a couple of months. And I'm just sitting here like, this is the reigning Pokemon champion here? He goes, yes. I looked at one of the other people there. I said, who was the reigning champion before him? A 5-year-old.
You see, I like that. I like that. So that to me tells me is the cycle's coming back around, right? Kids are starting to play the game again. Kids are starting to learn and become better at the game, and it's not dominated by older groups, right? The ones with the wallets, because
Right.
obviously kids have purchasing power, but through their parents. But honestly, games like Yu-Gi-Oh, there's very expensive cards. You want to build a competitive deck, you got to shell out a lot of money. So to hear that kids are starting to play these games again, I like it, and maybe someday Yu-Gi-Oh will get back to there where kids will have the skill set to play it because it is a very complex game. What about Digimon? Is there room for the younger generations to be in there and play competitively?
Almost definitely. We got a couple of kids that are like 9 and 10 that play.
Ooh.
My thing is though, the younger these kids are, the more complicated the deck that they play. And it's like it's pushing their brains to actually read and go through. Like one kid, he was using like Jessmon, which if anybody knows what Jessmon is, knows what the deck is, you know how much reading that takes. You almost feel like you're in high school reading level again. Just stop. But another kid was running a deck that you just got to constantly keep naming and reading. That's like the basis of this deck.
Gotcha.
They can run like Demon Lords, Hybrid, and it's like, hey, these kids are actually doing their homework here to keep up with people like my age. I'll be 37 this year. I know I don't look it, but
Not a
if
day over 27.
hey, if these kids can actually do this well in these formats, imagine what they can do in like Magic the Gathering or Lorcana.
Mm.
Definitely, Lorcana is a young kid's game. I don't care how many adults I see buying packs, I will always see at least 4 to 5 kids playing Lorcana.
Hmm. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and that game is expensive. So imagine seeing 10 adults here, 5 kids here, and 3 of those 5 kids beating those adults.
I love it. I love it. I want to see more of that happening because people say, "Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is a kids game." Well, it hasn't been a kids game for a very long time since the first few years, right? Then it started to take off, and I was one of those young adults who was in the tournaments beating on them kids. A couple kids got the better of me. I have to say, there was a couple times where I was kind of shocked. Felt like the whole Bandit Keith thing where the kid beat him. But I wasn't a jerk about it. That's the one. I was not Bandit Keith, but I was the adult that lost to a kid, and I was, hey, congratulations, hey everybody, he just beat me, yeah, he beat me, yeah, have fun with it. But I think that needs to happen more. Now, Magic the Gathering, that's a whole nother realm unto itself. We're not going to get into that, but
I'm only going to say just this one thing. Magic the Gathering is the only game that I know that has so many formats. Is like, can this deck be ran in all these formats? No, you can run in 4 formats. Okay, what deck can I run that can be ran in all formats? None.
yeah, because
Okay.
they cycle in sets and cards, and there's I used to kind of follow that because I did want to play it at one point, and I have again same thing. I have bulk. Just that I'm probably end up giving away. To be honest with you, it's probably not worth much to sell. It probably cost me more to try and sell it than actually. Anyways, but yeah, Magic is just crazy. If you play Magic, awesome, enjoy, have fun. Count me out. No, don't invite me to that party.
Uh,
Lorcana seems like fun. I like the cards. Looks cool. Star Wars game looks cool. I just don't have time to get into anything right now as far as that goes, trading card game. But I'm gonna keep my options open in case the right one just clicks. I say, wow, this looks cool. The type of game, that sort of thing. So we'll touch on some more next time when we're talking about gaming and some of the stuff that I've been playing, been up to. But we're gonna wrap this show up. Anything you want to close out with, Joker?
all I'm gonna say is this next format that starts in April, the new season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to getting my game on and trashing the competition.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, I'll be there cheering you on. I'm sure Unfound Prodigy and that dude Colby and everybody else that follows us you'll have our total support all the way through. So, absolutely. We'll be following you closely and cheering you on, and that's our guy, right? We're gonna have to do some merchandise. Like I know we talked about it before, but I think now's the time. Time is right now where we just get some Joker merchandise. Maybe a Have You Lost Your Damn Mind t-shirt.
Oh
Wristbands,
Lord.
headbands, we can do it all. So somewhere down the pipeline, we'll add that in there. But no, thank you for the discussion. It was good to be back on here with you. Looking forward to doing these. The goal is to do them weekly. If not, we'll do every other week. We'll figure it out. We're gonna find the time to keep this going because this is a lot of fun, and it'll give me something to kind of look forward to topics on the different card games. We're gonna cover a lot of topics like video games, anime, movies, that kind of stuff. But for now, we're going to wrap it up there. Joker, thank you as always. Tell us about where they can find you on Instagram and anywhere else.
You can find me on Instagram as at Silvereyed Poet. You can also find me on my gaming-ish channel, Shadowhaunt Joker. I don't really do much, but I post here and there. And you can find me here for Digimon and trading card needs at the Undisputed Combo.
Yes, thank you. And the Undisputed Combo, we're not going away, right? We haven't gone away. Same thing for me. You can find me on Instagram, the El Toro Fuerte. But the big one right now is Robotech_guy. Anybody that's my age, right? Robotech from the 80s, the old anime, aka Macross, Southern Cross, Malspita, those big time. The page is rolling, having fun with that. That's kind of where I put a lot of my effort into, and that you'll see some videos here if you haven't already on the Undisputed Combo. But we're making our comeback here with this, and we hope to provide you with some entertainment while you're watching and or listening. So thank you all as always for your support. We'll catch you all next time.